clairvoyance of being press is limited, and so we rely on press releases. I'm going to start off with the acknowledgement of Trump being sworn in as president today. That is the acknowledgement over. Going on to the press releases, there are a few things to talk about. We're going to start off with two ones from EA. And one of them is about sport, one is not, for once. But the one that is about sport is also a correction replacement. There's a correction and replacement for the EA Sports Bowl that is happening on February 2nd. This is an amendment from a press release. I have gone through it, and I don't know what the amendment is. It's still on February 2nd. It still is called the EA Sports Bowl. It still is in Houston, Texas. It still is at Club Nomadic. It still is going to be going on about Madden NFL 17. It still is going to have Sam Hunt, Chainsmokers, and some other people there, as well as other athletes, as well as showing off FIFA 17. I don't know what the amendment is. I have gone through this and the small print of competitions and ticket holdings, and I can't see any difference. So I got a press release for that was literally called "Correcting and Replacing the Big Game Kicks Off with EA Sports Bowl in Houston on February 2nd. And I've no idea what it's correcting. The second EA release is for EA Play 2017. You may remember last year they started doing a thing called EA Play, which is a big conference thing of them showing off the EA games. There isn't really that much to talk about besides just calling it it's a big EA conference where EA shows off games for itself and things. It's kind of like what it was last year, but last year it had loads of these other sections around everywhere. But this time it's going to be at the Hollywood Palladium, June 10th to 12th. I don't know if there's going to be any other events. Last year they had a couple of live events. They had a one-day thing in London. It does say right at the very end, for players, content creators, media, industry partners and more, EA Play Tour 2017 will deliver a network of experiences to celebrate a world of play. So I'm guessing there might be. Considering this thing is in June, it still is, what, 5 months away? 4 months away, full? So there could be a special thing going on in London, but the actual event proper, that is going to get live streamed all over the world via their channels. I'm assuming Twitch as well and loads of other things. It's usually Twitch and YouTube. From June 10th to June 12th at the Hollywood Palladium. This is one that is from our buddies at Focus Home Interactive, as well as some other partners as well. So we get the same releases from some other people as well as some other things. This is for another Warhammer game. They're announcing another Warhammer game, Warhammer 40,000. Necromunda Underhive Wars. I'm guessing that has some sort of significance. It's going to be developed by a company called Rogue Factor and released by Focus Home Interactive for PC and consoles. There is no scheduled release date. This is purely an announcement. Focus Home really has become the new home for publishing Warhammer games. They've had 3 in the last year, and then they're going to have this one as well. So they have plenty to go for them. They say right at the very end of the release, saying more info will be unveiled at the What's Next de Focus event in Paris on February 1st and 2nd. This is a very quick story about a game that up until this point I didn't really know that much about, but I have become quite enamoured by it. Surprisingly, I have actually become quite enamoured by it. It looks very interesting. It's Amplitude Studio celebrating their Endless Day again this year with Endless Space 2 and some deals of other Amplitude Studios games. As they say here, to honour Amplitude's 6th anniversary, Amplitude has revealed a new playable faction for Endless Space 2, the Horatio, from the original Endless Space, as well as early access update later in the month. And then they're also going to have discounts on other Amplitude games, including the original Endless Space, Endless Legend, and Dungeon of the Endless. There's a few other things to talk about of not necessarily releases, but trailers that have been given our way, and there's one that I really want to talk about. It's the Call of Cthulhu's Depths of Madness trailer. The game is called Call of Cthulhu. The trailer is called Depths of Madness. If you don't know about it, it is an adaptation of the Call of Cthulhu game board game thing, and it is coming out soon. It is being developed by Cyanide Studios. It's one that I've been very much looking forward to. At the moment, the only thing that's out for it is really trailers and pictures, so there's not really that much. On top of that, we've had new trailers for Planet of Heroes, a new trailer for Dark and Light, which seems quite interesting. That's it for emails and various cleanups and other things like that. So we're going to move on to Games Press. The first story is a conclusion to a story we talked about a couple of while ago, about a week ago, which was the New York Game Awards. They were last night, and the list of the winners has been released, as the awards have been given out. As you may have noticed on Twitter, I did. And the list of the winners go as follows. Game of the Year goes to Uncharted 4. Best Writing goes to Mafia 3. The Legend Award goes to, as previously mentioned, to Lord British. Best Games Journalism goes to David Wololinski. Best VR Game goes to Superhot. Best Mobile Game goes to Pokemon Go. Best Acting in a Game goes to Rich Summer for Firewatch. That's the one I noticed. Best Indie Game goes to Inside. Best Music goes to Thumper. Best Kids Game goes to Pokemon Go as well. The award for Best World goes to Hitman, and the Best Remake goes to Zelda Twilight Princess HD. And the last one was a fan vote award for Best Esports Team, which went to Cloud9. This is going to be a quick one because there's not really that much to talk about. It is the Taipei Game Show 2017, or TGS 2017. It's always quite an interesting one because it's kind of a mixture of things like CEX and Gamescom. It's technology mixed with gaming stuff, which is almost perfect for it because its main branches are going to be going towards VR gaming. And on the subject of announcements, talking to industry people and indie developers and things, listen here, there is an event that is organised by the TIGA, as we talked about them last week, and a group called Game Bench. The event is called Open London 2017. It is a industry event where they talk about the industry, specifically mobile gaming. It is going to be on the 2nd of February in Shoreditch. Tickets are pricey. And when I say pricey, I mean this is an industry event pricey. £200. Oh, £200. But it is an industry event. This is not for consumers. Consumers, you can skip the next 5 minutes. The tickets are £200, but if you're part of TIGA, you're entitled to a free entry. And there's also a PS to this where they say, we are also offering 10 free passes to indie devs to support the next generation of talent. Do you know any indie devs not currently in TIGA members? You might appreciate the heads up. So consider this a call. If you're not within the union, if you're not within TIGA, and you're interested and you're in London on February 2nd, and you make mobile games, this might be an event for you. That's pretty much it for the week's news. There's quite a few things to talk about. A lot of the things to talk about are more the releasement of trailers and a lot of indie games and things. It really is getting into the release rush now, so it's much more in the realms of lots of stuff is coming out rather than things to actually talk about.